Hello, and welcome to Be Prepared Calaveras, the show where we talk about how to stay safe, prepared, and connected to our beautiful Calaveras County community. I'm Martha Rubin, and today we are joined with Kurt Boynton from the Ebbetts Radio Safety Net, also known as ERSN. Kurt has been a part of our community for 17 years and has dedicated much of his time to the volunteer service and emergency preparedness. The ERSN is a local group using radio communication to keep neighbors connected and safe, especially in times when the power, cell service, or internet might not be available. We'll be talking with Kurt about his work with the ERSN, how the group started, why radios are such an important tool in our area, and how you can be involved in building this valuable community service in your area. So, welcome, Kurt. It's nice to have you on the show and great to talk about the radio net.
Yeah, well, and thanks, Martha. Thanks so much for taking an interest in the group and kind of bringing us on and let us tell our story a little bit, and hopefully more people get enthusiastic about it and join in.
Okay, I hope so. That's the purpose of the show. And let's start a little bit about, can you tell us about yourself and what you're involved in and your work with the radio communications?
Yeah, well, so we bought our place up in Arnold, up in the Pine Brook subdivision back in 2008, and kind of quickly got involved with, mainly Pine Brook at that time. There was some wonderful, dedicated people that were part of Pine Brook's Homeowners Association, and they would also get involved in the community, whether through EPOC or whatever. And so they have a really magnetic personality and managed to get people around them involved in. And I was very happy to join in and get involved in some activities. And that's kind of how a lot of it has started. And then I served a good chunk of the last 17 years on the Pine Brook board in one capacity or another. And it is a largely volunteer effort. They have a few paid staff members, but for the most part, Pine Brook is run by volunteers. So that's kind of what led me into a lot of the volunteer activity.
It sounds like a great neighborhood, and lucky for you to get involved and lucky for them to have you involved.
Yeah, it's been very enjoyable. So.
Okay, so then how did the Ebbetts Radio Safety Net get started? So back in 2022, towards late 2022 going into 2023, I met another Pine Brook HOA member. His name was Dan Papayas. And he knew that I was on the board. And he came to me and he said, "Hey, I have this great suggestion. We've had an increase in snowmageddons, as we call them, snow events, wind events. We've had some scary stuff with wildfire and whatnot. And communication has been kind of a struggle during some of these. And then also we were kind of coming off a time where PG&E was doing a lot of the personal safety power shutdowns. Yeah. And anyone who lives up in the area kind of knows that the power goes out, you have about maybe 3 to 4 hours of internet and phone service before those drop because they were on battery backup. So Dan Papayas came to me and showed me this radio, and he said, I think we could really connect our community together with these when all other forms of communication had failed. And it so happened to be that one of his neighbors during
during a heavy snowfall, had a medical condition, and there was no way to contact people outside of the community. So that's what really led, him to that as well.
That's a great idea, because I was here for 7 days. We did not have power, and it's pretty scary if you do have an emergency. How do you reach out, or how do people reach out to each other to make sure that everybody's okay? So exactly. I love that. I love the idea.
And we were, at first we were just going to start something small and just have it to where, people that were closer to Highway 4 that still had ways of communicating or whatever could radio in, and we were going to do like a bucket brigade, and we'll talk about that a little later or whatever. Okay. But, we could bucket brigade questions in back on subdivisions, and even it was just to say, hey, can someone go and check on my mother? Here's her address. Just walk over there and check and make sure she's okay, and then radio back and let me know. So that was, Dan and I's first kind of discussion about it, and then I ended up being president that year, and so then I brought it up to the board, and the board definitely saw the need for it, and wanted to get behind the effort. Their board runs September to September, so September we opened it up as an HOA task item to incorporate. And within just a matter of weeks, Marlene Cover posted out on Nextdoor that she was interested in this. And it took us a matter of minutes to contact her about it. And then before you know it, it enveloped, it kind of evolved into the whole community.
So that's interesting. You were planning in one area, and then Marlene was in a separate area, said, hey, does anybody want to start a radio network? And I think I saw her post and said, oh, yeah, I'll be in. And then you guys coordinated?
Yeah, no, and it's really, you can't get any more luck than that. I mean, because Marlene has been such an engaging person with the community and stuff like that, too. And yeah, she... her house is over in Blue Lake Springs, which is a couple of subdivisions over. And then that brought in other people. And one of those people is Ken Sanders. And he has worked with, numerous agencies on the Highway 4 corridor there, whether search and rescue or whatever. He's if it involves radios, that guy has worked with it, and he has got an enormous amount of knowledge. And so then he's also in Blue Lake Springs, and so then he was very quick to join the group, and that elevated us to a whole new level.
Wow.
So that's kind of how the group got started, and so then by December. By the first Saturday in December of 2023, that's when we officially kicked off the group. So this December will be our second year.
Wow, that's great. Great, that's great. Well, so I also am a member. I think it's great, and there are check-ins, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But can you tell me, how many members are involved now, and do you reach out beyond just our upper Highway 4 corridor?
So and taking a quick step back to when Dan and I were kind of discussing, it's kind of funny, we were laughing, if we could just get 4 other people involved, that would be great. The first year, 4 people. Well, it took off. Everyone, once seen the benefit of having this in the area. So currently we have almost 80 members, and out of those 80 members, 68 of them are very much involved with regular weekly nets and whatnot. So that's great, and those are scattered amongst numerous subdivisions. And now we're even kind of moving down the hill a little bit and getting involved in Forest Meadows and Murphy's and stuff, like join forces with you during like the Firewise events.
Yeah.
And got our name out there that way. Facebook has been kind of the go-to for the core group. You know, we do a lot on Facebook. Right now we're mainly just focused on the upper 4 corridor.
Okay, that's good.
But there has been some people from Tuolumne County and I think even a few people as far as Modesto have checked in.
So, yeah.
You know, right now we're still mainly focused on that upper 4 corridor because that's where the big impact, you know, happens for us.
Yeah.
But with having people, you know, further out of that circle, that does play a really big benefit because one thing I should say about what we're trying to do, we're not trying to become the next cell service
Right.
or the emergency broadcast system. What we're doing is, in addition to that, it's, you know, there's some great things out there. I mean, the county has all kinds of emergency things that you can sign up for. The sheriff's department has all kinds of great things that you can sign up for to get automatic, you know, notifications. And then there's the University of San Diego has the website where they, you know, kind of organize all the cameras, and you can go out there and see any, you know, fire activity. These are all great things. And then, of course, watch duty. You know, most of us are signing up for watch duty. These are all great things to have, and we're definitely not in lieu of those.
Right. So this is a community group.
It is.
And I know I have checked with a couple of my neighbors who have the radios and said, you know, during a storm, please check in and make sure, or a power shutdown or whatever, and the past fire too. You know, check in to make sure that I'm okay. You know, like we can talk on our cells, but just in case, can we check in also on and make a radio call to, hey, are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you up? Are you in the area? We'll check on you. Or when it's time to go, we'll go together, you know, or we'll meet somewhere. So here you brought a whole bunch of radios. This one is mine, and you have a lot of things out there too. So can you tell us a little bit about what you brought, and then what is needed to be part of the group? Is there a license? Is there a course you need to take? So let's talk just a little bit about technical stuff.
Okay. And I'll try to keep it roped in. So the radios, they're relatively inexpensive. So I checked this morning. This is the radio that we recommend most people that are just starting, that just need a really basic radio. And first off, the radio is pretty simple to use.
Yeah.
Probably the most challenging thing is just making sure you're on the right channel, because you can program multiple channels into these. And but other than that, they're like like a walkie-talkie when you were a kid, you know, and you guys would play out in the backyard with your walkie-talkies.
Or mom calling, come home for dinner.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a simple push-to-talk button on the side, and when you turn your radio on and you make sure you're on the right channel, then you just listen and push the key on the side to talk. The radios are cheap enough that most people can afford them. I checked this morning. I was just curious, and they've actually gone down in price. Okay. So right now, Amazon has two of these for $38.
Oh, see, I paid $50 for a pair. So, all right, that's good. That's good. So you have something else with a taller antenna. And these are the antennas.
Yeah, and then this is a little bit of a higher power one that I had purchased, and then listening to Ken Sanders' advice, he talks a lot about antennas, and I did see that having a little bit of an upgraded antenna will really extend your range. And so that's really the big difference between the GMRS radios and the FRS radios.
Is that what that one is?
No.
Okay.
So you'll see when you go out to Amazon, you'll see FRS, and the FRS stands for Family Radio Service.
Oh.
And then GMRS stands for General Mobile Radio Service. These are higher power.
I see.
And
okay.
that's why so many communities are starting to adapt, is because they'll go out just a little further. That's what makes these things nice. Okay. With that, how do you get involved? The next step after you get your radio or before you get your radio, because these are a little bit higher power, you do need a license from the FCC.
Okay, and how would you get that?
And so if you go out to the fcc.gov and type in a search for GMRS, then it will take you to this thing called the Universal Licensing. And you register with them, they'll send you this FIN number. You need that first.
Right.
That's a federal ID number. That basically allows you to make payments or whatever, and then there is a small cost to get the license, but then you'll be able to apply for a license. There is no test, so it's not like ham radio operators where you need to study,
Yeah.
take a big written exam, and then go from there. There is no exam. There's no knowledge that you absolutely have to have other than basic radio etiquette.
Okay.
And then you pay a fee, which is very minimal, and the license is good for 10 years.
Oh, I was going to ask you that
Yeah.
question because I got my license, and I think it was $35.
Yeah,
and it was just very straightforward. So anybody listening, just think about getting your radios. You go to the FCC,
Yep.
you sign up, you get your number, and then you get in touch with the group.
Yes.
Correct? So that you can have your radio actually programmed for a specific channel. And maybe you can tell our listeners a little bit more about that channel.
Yeah, just one more thing on the
sorry.
license. One really good benefit of the license, not only is it good for 10 years, it will cover your entire household. So you, your spouse, your kids, everyone in your household, it will cover them too, and they'll be allowed to use the radio.
Oh, that's great. That's good news.
And then you get your call sign when you apply for your license.
Now I got my radio, I got my call sign, and then I want to join the group. So how do I know what channel to be on? Because you mentioned it's a special channel that will find you.
Yes. So there's a couple of ways to find out more information about us. One of them, and the one I like a lot, is the website.
Okay.
So if you go to ERSN.net, you will go to our website. Our website not only has our contact information and how to get a hold of us and what you need to do, but it's also a treasure trove of information. Like you want to know how to get a license. Well, we have a step-by-step process listed on there.
Good. Okay, so
Yeah. You want to learn more about the radios? We have information out there. And then most important, we have our channel guide. We have, all of the channels that we program. And then we have our Facebook page or our Facebook group as well. And so if you go on Facebook and search for ERSN, you will find it. And that is where we will kind of continually update information that isn't so static. And one of those things is when we do have social events, and whether they're training or we have a picnic barbecue coming up here real soon. That is a great place to find out when those events are going to happen. And then there's a number of us that show up at these events, and we will have all the programming software and cables and whatever we need, and we can certainly help program your radios and show you how to use them and all of that.
So then, just to verify that you get your radio, you get your license, and then you go onto the website and you find out, or you go onto Facebook and you find out how to connect with the group, and then you must have your radio programmed to specific channels.
Correct.
Okay. And then, so I know I have been a host for a Saturday morning. So Saturday mornings you host a net call at 9 o'clock, and it's only like a 15-minute check-in. And if there's things going on in the county or in our area that we need to know about, it's also a great source to find things out. And then on Wednesday night, there is also a check-in at 7 o'clock. So it's the same thing, and you could most likely find Ken at the at the helm.
Yes.
And then there's something else that I'd like you to just touch upon. There's another means of communication called Meshtastic, and that sounds like pretty fantastic. And it's
and then I want to remind you too, because we are expanding. Now we have Monday as well. We have Monday night down in at our Murphy's repeater.
So that's right.
We have a net on Mondays too. So Monday, Wednesday, Saturday.
So let me ask you this. On Monday nights, if I, up in Meadowmont, wanted to say, hey, I hear you guys, would I be able to do that? Or do I need to go to a different channel for the Monday nights?
You will be able to hear it, but in order to actually communicate back with the net, then you would have to go to a different channel.
Okay.
And that's providing that you can hit the repeater down there.
Okay.
So they're different repeaters. And we do have plans on putting yet another repeater at another location, so that we can kind of spread our signal out even a little bit further.
Okay, so just quickly, so we have a repeater up at the Summit.
Summit, yep.
It's like Arnold area or beyond?
I've never been there personally. Ken Sanders has been the one who kind of championed that. And so we can talk about the radios a little bit more here in a second too. We'll get back to Meshtastic, and we can talk about that. But so one other thing to say about these repeater sites is what they do is they extend the range, from these little handhelds. They go up to a repeater, and then the repeater takes that signal and then rebroadcast it on another frequency. Then, so getting over the top of mountain ridges and trees and stuff like that, that's what the repeater does, is extends your range, because it's taking that signal and rebroadcasting it over a larger area, and they're a lot more, a lot higher power.
Yeah.
But you don't want them to fight each other, so you program them on different frequencies. And so here again, that takes some coordination, and Ken Sanders has been really good at kind of helping us set that up, so that we have a very solid net. But getting back to Meshtastic, you had mentioned that. So that is yet another. So we kind of made a subgroup in ERSN, the nerd group, where we look at things, and like I was saying in the beginning of this conversation, this is in addition to all of these great things that we already have. Our repeaters, they are 100% on solar power. So we are not reliant on on the power being there. We're not reliant on generators. The solar arrays are built out so that we can last several days without sun, in case it's really stormy or whatever. We've never run out of power yet on our solar. So this is, kind of what our repeaters look like. They're in an outdoor enclosure.
I would think they would be bigger.
I know.
But I guess it doesn't have to. It's like, our cell phones are powerful and small. So,
again, Dan Papias, he has been a big part of the ERSN group. He found this other technology called Meshtastic, which you buy these little low-powered radios, and through a Bluetooth connection, you connect them with your phone, and you have an app on your phone. So
I see.
What these do is they're the text equivalent of this. So here we talk voice.
Oh, and there you talk text.
Meshtastic, yeah. You use an app on your phone, and it connects to these little, they're called nodes. Nodes connect to other nodes that they can find using this low power radio, and they form a mesh network.
Got it.
And it allows you to text, and you don't need a cell signal for it. They create their own. And through the Bluetooth connection on your phone, you are talking to the nodes.
Notice the time.
Okay. One of the great things about that is the more people that are on it, the stronger it gets.
So it gains power with
power.
people rather than stressing the power.
Yes.
All right. So I would like to just have you tell again, how can people get in touch with you? Because I'm sure that everybody really wants to know about the radio network. So is it best through the website? Yeah.
A great place to start is the ERSN website, ersn.net.
Okay.
That has all of our contact information, as well as general information on how to get started. We even have recommendations for what radios to purchase and whatnot. On Facebook, and even if you just go to Nextdoor and do some searches on Nextdoor, you'll search for ERSN, and you will find our contact information.
Great. Thank you so much. Very informative. I'm excited to try this stuff, and thank you so much for coming in, taking the time to talk to us today.
Well, and thank you again for your interest in the group and letting us come on and tell a little bit about what we're doing, and thanks for being a guest host once in a while.
Yeah, you're very welcome. My pleasure. So I'd like to thank everybody for watching, and I just would like to make a great announcement before we end, that on November 1st, we'll be having a Firewise Calaveras festival down at the fairgrounds in Angels Camp. So I hope that everybody will come out and look for our flyers and information. So thank you so much. Until next time.